Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Curious Techie. Curious Techie is a technology-oriented e-learning platform channel, and our first topic is basics of Linux operating system. We are all using different types of operating systems. For example, Windows from the Microsoft and its versions like Windows XP, Windows Vista, and currently updated one Windows 10. And we have mobile operating system like Android and iOS for Apple devices, and Samsung have an operating system called Tizen. So let us know more about the concept, what is called an OS and its functionality, features and everything in detail, and also the basics of Linux operating system. So these are all the contents which I am planning to complete in this session. So let us start with the definition of what is called an operating system. OS can be simply explained as a simple bridge between the end user and computer. OS is providing us a container to the end user application to have a safe and efficient execution in a machine. Each and every operating system have a module called kernel. Kernel is a piece of software which is interacting to the hardware in a machine, and it handles the memory management, process management, task management, and it also connects the system hardware to the end user applications installed in the computer. And the end user applications will make use of operating system features by a concept called application programming interface, which we will cover in the later topics. This is a layered architecture of an operating system, and the first layer is hardware, which includes the storage unit, processor, memory, and all other hardware units. And at the top of hardware we can see the OS layer, which we can install any operating system in our machine, which can be Windows versions or Linux versions. And at the top of operating system is the application layer, which means the end user application such as Microsoft Office, Excel, Photoshop, CAD, etc., which we want to install in the operating system which we are using. And the top layer is the user layer, which means the end users, means which we can use these end user applications by using a mouse and a keyboard in our computer. So without this layer, means without operating system, we can't use the machines as well as we can't use any type of end user application. This is about Linux operating system. Linux is one of the best non-open source OS used in personal computer and server. I will explain about what is open source in the next slide. And Linux is written in C programming language and assembly language. Linux is similar to Windows operating system, but it do have some significant changes that we will discuss later. And it is a Unix-like operating system based on Linux kernel. As we discussed in the previous slide, kernel is a module which is interacting between hardware and the end user applications. Linux kernel is developed by Linus Torvalds and it is monolithic. Monolithic means the operating system related modules like system drivers, interprocess communication systems, and file system and the system calls, etc., are running on the kernel space. And the Linux kernel is used in the Android operating system also. 70% of the servers in the world are powered by Linux. And the Linux OS is used in cloud computing, embedded device, mainframe computers, mobile devices, servers, supercomputers, etc. So next I will demonstrate the Linux operating system here using VirtualBox. Don't worry if you are not familiarized with the terms like VirtualBox as well as virtual machine. I will explain about these terms in the upcoming videos. So this is the basic screen as well as the basic desktop of an Linux version. I am using here the Linux version called Ubuntu, and this is similar to Windows, but it do have some changes. I will explain the terms in this desktop as well as in the screen. This show application is similar to the start menu in our Windows system. We can see the list of applications which are installed in the machine, and this is the taskbar which we can customize to add or remove the icons of applications which we want. This trash is similar to the recycle bin in our Windows. This is File Explorer. We can traverse through the file system we want, as well as we can store or remove the files as same in Windows system. And this is the important feature of a Linux version. It is called terminal. I will explain about this concept in the next session. Here we have many controls like settings, Wi-Fi connections, sound settings, etc. We can power off as well as log out the system from here. We can use the right click as in Windows machine. We can see different options like settings and the display settings, and we can open the terminal direct from here. And as in Windows machine, we can create new folder using the new folder option. And we have an option called change background to change the wallpaper of our screen. We can select the picture similar to Windows machine and see the wallpaper of our screen gets changed. Next is about what is open source and free software. Many people have doubt regarding what is open source and what is free software. First, a free software means anyone can use that software in our computer without using a license. That means no need to spend money to a software company for using that software. Open source means the source code of a specific software will be available to public to view and edit the source code. As it means the Linux is an open source software, which means the source code of a Linux operating system is available to the public. Anyone who is interested to view the source code can use the source code for modification, and it can enhance the features and performance of the operating system. It means we can contribute to that specific software organization, and by modifying we can release our own version of software after the desired modification. Linux distros means the various community groups as well as different releases of a Linux operating system. As we know, the Linux is open source and the source code of the same is available to the public. And if we want, we can create our own community to work on a specific version and a specific release. We can modify the source code as per our requirement to enhance the feature, and we can add new features and increase the performance. And we can release our own version in our own name, like our community name. The popular Linux distributions are Debian, Ubuntu and Fedora. And we have the commercial distributions are Red Hat Enterprise Linux, which means RHEL, and SUSE Linux Enterprise Server. The commercial means the products of their specific versions are chargeable. So these are the main features of a Linux operating system. First one, portable, which means Linux OS will be supported on almost processor architectures. So it can be installed on any hardware platform. And open source means the source code is available to the public and we can modify the source code for performance enhancement and to add new features. Multi-user means multiple users can use the Linux system at a time. Multi-programming means we can run multiple applications on a Linux system simultaneously. And the hierarchical file system, which is the most important feature provided by Linux. As we know, in Windows system we will install the operating system files in a local drive called C. In Linux, the system files and user files are separated for security reasons and for the stability of the operating system. So it will provide a proper file structure. And the feature called shell. Shell is an interpreter program which can be used to execute commands of the operating system. We can perform all operations we want in a Linux through terminal by using the program called shell. And also Linux provides more security when compared to Windows operating system through file permission and access control mechanisms. So these are the main advantages of using a Linux operating system. First one, open source, which means we can get the source code of a Linux version from internet, and if we want, we can edit the source code using different tools to enhance the performance and also to add new features as per our requirement. And the second one, Linux provides more security when compared to other operating systems by using file permissions and access control lists, and also different security features that we will discuss later. And Linux system as well as the Linux operating system can revive older computer system, which means we can install a Linux operating system in a machine which have a low end processor and low memory. The hardware requirements of a Linux operating system is minimal when compared to Windows and other operating system. And about the software updates, we can ensure a continuous software updates and bug fix for a Linux operating system, because the developers in worldwide are contributing to Linux project since it is a open source. Any developers can contribute. The customization flexibility. This is similar to the feature called open source, means we can customize our system as per our requirement. The various distribution means, as we discussed in the previous slide, there are many distros available for a Linux. The main famous distros are Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, etc. When compared to Windows operating system, there are n number of Linux distributions available and it's free to use. The stability means the continuous update and bug fix for our operating system. And to update the system, there is no need to restart our machine as in Windows operating system. And the performance of Linux OS is very high and greater than other operating system like Windows and all. These are the technical details of a Linux operating system and a Windows. As we know, the Linux is free to use, but in the case of Windows, we need one activation key, so that we need to purchase it from Microsoft to activate our Windows in our machine. And Linux is open source, but in the case of Windows it is not open source since the source code is not available anywhere, and also we are not able to customize the Windows operating system. But in the case of Linux, we can customize the source code to enhance the performance and to add new features as per our requirements. So the Linux is customizable. And also Linux is more secure due to its open source nature, but in the case of Windows it is vulnerable to viruses and other malware attacks. And about the partition. Partition is the segmented modules of a hard drive. Each hard drive can up to 4 primary partitions. Primary partition means it will hold the operating system related files and it will be bootable, means it will be an active partition. The Linux can support either primary or logical partition, but in the case of Windows it will only support primary partition. Separation of directories using / in the case of Linux, but in the case of Windows it is using a \. I will show that. This is my Linux machine. Currently I am in my home directory, and I had created one test folder here. I am navigating to that test folder. Also one second folder is there. See, as we can see, is using a / to indicate the path between the folders. But in the case of Windows, I will show, as we can see a / here. we can see the backslash in Windows. And the file names in Linux are case sensitive, and in the case of Windows it is insensitive. I will explain with an example. Test file, a file name, and this is also another file name. The capital letters in these two file names are different. In case of Windows, these both names are treated as one file, but in the case of Linux, these two files are separate files. Means the capital and small letters have differences in the case of Linux. And these are the supported file system in Linux machine, and FAT32, NTFS and REFS are the file system which are supported in a Windows machine. And the Linux kernel is monolithic and Windows kernel is microkernel. I will explain about the two kernels using this picture. As we know, the Linux is using a monolithic kernel. In this kernel architecture, the operating system related modules is running on the kernel space. We can see here the virtual file system, system calls, inter-process communication, file system, and the device drivers, dispatcher. These modules are related to the operating system and it is running in the kernel space. But in the case of a microkernel architecture, only the basic inter-process communication, virtual memory, and the scheduling algorithms are running on the kernel space. The other application inter-process communication and the device drivers and the file servers are running on the user space. That's the difference between the kernel architectures between a Linux and Windows machine. Next is about the Linux terminal. It's an important and interesting feature in a Linux operating system. As I explained in the previous slides about the module called shell. Whenever we give a command to our machine, it is executing through the shell. It is the shell module which is communicating with the operating system to process the given command. So terminal is providing an interface for the shell. Provides an interface for the user to give the input and to view the result, and also for working with a Linux machine. This terminal is very useful whenever we take a remote session for a server, and I will show the terminal here. This is my Ubuntu machine and we can take the terminal like this, and it is okay. This is the terminal. As of now, I will type the symbol command and I will explain about the terminal in detail later. First, I will use the ls command. Ls means listing of files. I have this much directories as well as files in my home directory, and I can go to the test folder. Here also I can list. I have created a sample files here, and we have the, suppose if you want to go to the home directory, we can use cd space dot dot, and we can have the pwd means present working directory, home/Kurian. It's my directory, and that's it. A basic about the Linux terminal. Now it's time to get familiarized with some basic command along with using terminal. So let's go to our Ubuntu machine. So before using commands, we need to know some tips and knowledge about terminal. See, first we can see a dollar symbol here. The meaning of that dollar symbol is currently we log in as a normal user. Here Kurian is a normal user, and in a Linux machine we have another user called root user, which is similar to a administrator. The root user have world privilege and full control of our machine. We can switch to our root machine like this: su space -l and hit enter. Now the terminal will ask for password. Type the password. Currently my password is root. See, now the symbol got changed and the user here is root@Kurian. This is my host name in my machine and this is the username. We can exit from root user like this. Type exit and hit enter. Clear command is used to clear the screen, the terminal screen. And in terminal we can use the tab key in our keyboard to auto completion. For example, ls. Suppose we want to go to our directory called new folder. We can use cd and use tab. It will show the possible outputs, and try typing n and tab. It will automatically show the folder name if it's present, and we can simply navigate to new folder. For coming to the home folder, type cd space dot dot. pwd command is used to know the present working directory. Here /home/Kurian. Now I'll clear the screen, and we have some shortcuts. I will show with an example. Suppose this command, we can go to the beginning of command using Ctrl and A by pressing Ctrl plus A, and to the next word we can use Ctrl and left and right arrows. See, I'm using left and right arrows together. And from here, if you want to go to the end of command, we can use Ctrl E. It is useful when we face with an error in the typed command. We can simply traverse to the command using this keyboard shortcuts. And we have a command called man. This means manual. And if you want to know the manual of a command, for example ls command for listing the files, type man space ls and hit enter. See, here it will show the command usage and examples and all details of a command. To get out from that, press Q. And in Linux, whatever we selected, it is copied. If you want to paste, use the scroll key. See, suppose if you want to, for example, I'm using this IIT. Suppose we want to copy this from any text file or any file, just copy this, select this one, and now it's copied. Clear the screen, and use the scroll key to paste that. See, it's pasted from before. And we have a command called history. See, we can see the previous commands which we typed in the terminal. And we have up arrow and back arrow keys. Whenever we use the up arrow, we can see the previous commands which already used, and we can select from that. So that's the basic tips and knowledge about using terminal. Now we can try with the basic commands in our Linux terminal. As we know, the ls command to list the files and directories in the current working directory. Currently the present working directory is /home/Kurian. So the ls command is showing the files and directories under the home directory Kurian, and the pwd command is used to see the present working directory. For example, we are going to pictures. We can do pwd here. It will show /home/Kurian/pictures. To go to the home directory, cd space dot dot, it will come to the home directory of the current login user, and we have one command called mkdir. This is to create a new directory. This is how we will use this command, mkdir space the new directory name, new test dir. Okay, we can check with ls whether the file is the directory is created or not. So we can see the new test directory is already created, and we can navigate to new directory using the cd command. And we have one command called cp, which simply means a copy command to copy files and directories from one location to another location. We do this operation usually in our machines using the right click of our mouse. We will select the files, then copy, and go to the location we want to put the file, and we just simply right click and paste the file. We can simply do this operation using copy command in Linux. To demonstrate that, I will first create a sample file using the touch command, and I am naming the file like file to be copied. Plus, we can see the file is already created. It's okay, and this is how we will use cp command. Cp, and the first parameter is the file which we want to copy. So type F, then tab, so it will automatically fetch here. And next is to select the location we want to paste the file. Okay, we will select the new directory which just created using the mkdir command and hit enter. Okay, and go to new test directory ls. See, this file is copied here. Okay, and if you want to rename this file, just type mv. Mv means move command. File to be copied, and put a new name, new file. We can give like this, rename file. Okay, see, this file to be copied name changed to this new name which we given along with this mv command. Okay, and cd new test directory. We have one command called rm. Rm means remove. Then give the file name which we want to remove. So we will delete this file. We will remove this file. Okay, it's removed. While giving ls, nothing is here, and we will go to the home directory, and we have one command called rmdir. This is called remove directory. This is how we will use this command, rmdir space the directory which we want to delete. We want to delete this directory which we created for testing. See, and we have one command called cat, cat, which means concatenate. That is used to see the contents of a text file. I have created one sample text file here, which is known as sample.txt. See, this is a sample text file to test the cat command from from terminal in Linux. Actually, what is showing here is the contents of this sample.txt file. I will open the sample.txt file here. See, this is the file sample.txt. This is a editor like Notepad called gedit. I'm closing this. By using this command, we can see the contents without opening the file. See, these are the basic commands which I demonstrated here. We can familiar with more commands in the upcoming sessions. Actually, what's happening when we type a command here is the command, like a command is a set of process as well as a simple program which is already saved in our Linux system. We can also create our own command by defining a steps and the process we want to do. Actually, when we are giving a command in our Linux terminal, the shell is catching that command and shell will communicate with the OS and it will process the command and shell will give us the output and it will be displayed here. From the previous slides, I hope everyone got a basic idea about the Linux operating system. And the Linux is used everywhere in our real life applications in a number of ways. For example, the Linux firmware. Linux firmware means especially the firmware can be explained as a software as well as a mini operating system which drives the hardware of a electronic device. So the Linux firmware is used in many electronic devices such as digital watches, TV, routers, vehicles, washing machine, everywhere. And also the Android operating system is using Linux kernel. And Linux is used in supercomputers, and we know that 70% of the servers in the world are running on Linux operating system. So Linux is everywhere. Thank you all for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel to get the latest updated videos and press the bell icon. Please send your comments and suggestions to the email ID curioustechie.learn@gmail.com. See you all in the next session. Thank you very much.